One day, a man with an elephant walks into a movie theater. "I'm afraid I can't let your elephant in here, sir," the manager says. "Oh, I assure you, he's very well behaved," the man says. "All right then," the manager says, "if you're sure." After the movie, the manager says to the man, "I'm very surprised. Your elephant was well behaved, and he even seemed to enjoy the movie." "Yes, I was surprised too," says the man. "He hated the book." A drunk phoned the local police department to report that thieves had been in his car. They have stolen the dashboard, the steering wheel, the brake pedal, even the accelerator. He tried out. However, before the police investigation could start, the phone rang a second time, and the same voice came over the line. "Never mind," the drunk said with a hiccup. "I got in the back seat by mistake." 3 men, a Frenchman, an Italian, and an American, were condemned to be executed. Their captors told them that they had the right to have a final meal before the execution. They asked the Frenchman what he wanted. "Give me some good French wine and French bread," he requested. So they gave it to him, he ate it, and then they executed him. Next, it was the Italian's turn. "Give me a big plate of pasta," said the Italian. So they brought it to him, he ate it, and then they executed him. Now it was the American's turn. "I want a big bowl of strawberries," said the American. "Strawberries! They aren't even in season. So I'll wait." A man died and went to the judgment. They told him, "Before you meet with God, I should tell you, we've looked over your life, and to be honest, you really didn't do anything particularly good or bad. We're not really sure what to do with you. Can you tell us anything you did that can help us make a decision?" The newly arrived soul thought for a moment and replied, "Yeah, once I was driving along and came upon a person who was being harassed by a group of thugs. So I pulled over, got out a bat, and went up to the leader of the thugs. He was a big, muscular guy with a ring pierced through his lip. Well, I tore the ring out of his lip and told him he and his gang had better stop bothering this guy or they would have to deal with me." "Wow, that's impressive. When did this happen?" "About 3 minutes ago," the man replied. "There were 4 teenagers who played hooky one morning. Upon coming to class in the afternoon, they reported that their lateness was because their car got a flat tire." "That's fine," the teacher said, much to the students' relief. "But there was an oral test this morning which you boys have to make up. So please have a seat and take out a piece of paper. Now for the first question. Which tire was flat?" 3 engineers and 3 accountants are traveling by train to a conference. At the station, the 3 accountants each buy tickets and watch as the 3 engineers buy only a single ticket. "How are 3 people going to travel on only 1 ticket?" asks an accountant. "Watch and you'll see," answers an engineer. All of them board the train. The accountants take their respective seats, but all 3 engineers cram into a restroom and close the door behind them. Shortly after the train has departed, the conductor comes around collecting tickets. He knocks on the restroom door and says, "Ticket, please." The door opens just a crack and a single arm emerges with a ticket in hand. The conductor takes it and moves on. The accountants saw this and agreed it was a clever idea. So after the conference, the accountants decide to copy the engineers on the return trip and save some money. When they get to the station, they buy a single ticket for the return trip. To their astonishment, the engineers don't buy a ticket at all. "How are you going to travel without a ticket?" says one perplexed accountant. "Watch and you'll see," answers an engineer. When they board the train, the 3 accountants cram into a restroom and the 3 engineers cram into another one nearby. The train departs. Shortly afterward, one of the engineers leaves his restroom and walks over to the restroom where the accountants are hiding. He knocks on the door and says, "Ticket, please." 3 men are in the middle of a desert when their car breaks down. For their hike to town, they each decide to take one thing with them. One man takes a jug of water. The second man takes a sandwich. The last man takes one of the car doors. The first man says to the last man, "I'm bringing the water because if I get thirsty, I can take a drink. And it makes sense to bring a sandwich in case we get hungry. But why bring a car door?" The last man replies, "If I get hot, I can just roll down the window." A man died and went up to heaven. Upon arriving, he noticed 2 signs. One said, "Men who are bossed by their wives." The other one said, "Men not bossed by their wives." After closer inspection, he noticed that while next to the first sign was a big line, by the second sign there was just one man. After getting even closer, he realized it was his friend Harry. "Hey, Harry," the man questioned, "what in the world are you doing here?" "Your wife bosses you around more than anybody." "I don't know," Harry replied. My wife told me to stand here.
The teacher asked little Johnny if he knew his numbers. Yes, he said. My father taught me. Good. What comes after 3? 4, answered the boy. What comes after 6? 7. Very good, said the teacher. Your dad did a good job. And what comes after 10? Jack, Queen, and King.
A guy asks a lawyer about his fees. I charge $50 for 3 questions. The lawyer says, That's awfully steep, isn't it? The guy asks. Yes, I suppose so, the lawyer replies. Now, what's your final question?